you is, why do you believe it is important that Christians take a proactive approach to addressing social issues?
Because we don't live in our vacuum. We've got to live out our faith in the real world, and the black community, we are affected by a lot of the things that we write about. I mean, I would say for the last maybe 14, 15 years, one of my passions, one of the things that I've been really concerned about is the whole gun and knife crime thing. You know, it was when I first started getting involved in that issue, it was more gun crime, and it's moved to knife crime. And I suppose, you know, I'm one of those people, you know, obviously as a journalist, you get to write about all kinds of things, but I'm still kind of shocked that a community that was, I'm talking Black Caribbean community, and then obviously it spread to the African community, that is kind of rooted in Christian values. We have a section of our community, young people, some of whom come from church backgrounds, who resort to violence to deal with, you know, how they, you know, to express as an outward expression of what they're feeling inside. And I suppose I write about it because I think that it's something that the church should play a part in combating. Those young people, their mothers most probably come to our churches. So it's like, what's happening? You know, there's some kind of gulf between what we're teaching from the pulpit and how it's impacting people that are listening and their children. We've got to find a way to play a part in actually dealing with those issues. Same with domestic violence. They say that 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence. Those women are within our churches. I mean, I've interviewed women who've experienced domestic violence. It's quite surprising, the number of women who've experienced domestic violence. So I feel that they go to church, the pastors are preaching, they should say something about it. You know, have it in their sermon. They should be saying, you know, men, you should not be hitting your wives or your partners. They should be saying, women, if you are in a relationship where you feel threatened or you're being abused, speak to somebody in the church. If they're hitting you violently, you know, go and report them to the police. Yeah, I believe that. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about domestic violence. So I said, you know, if I get married and my partner hits me, I hope this doesn't put off potential partners, but if I get married and my husband hits me, I'll report it to the police. And why would I do that? I would do that because sometimes when it comes to domestic abuse, it's about power and control. And sometimes that person who's abusing you needs to know that you are willing to resort to a higher authority, somebody who's got authority over them, and for them to not think that it's something that they can get away with or do it again, because violence in relationship tends to escalate. So I'm not going to hit anybody I'm in relationship with, and I don't think somebody should feel that they have a right to hit myself, or if anybody's listening and they're that way disposed, you know, nobody has a right to hit their partner. I just think it's wrong. So yeah, and I think the church has a part to play in combating domestic violence. And anything I write about, whether it's sexual trafficking or whatever, we've got a voice, and we should, as a church, we should use it. We stand for something. You know, we should be a moral voice in society.